Hello candidates, how are you? Jai Hind. This is Brigadier Ahmad Narayan from Trishul Defense Academy, Ranchi. Now, if you have been watching my videos, in my earlier videos, I had given an overview of the entire screening process, where I had given about the YR test, which is the first part of the screening, and then about the PPDT, which is the picture perception and discussion test. Now, some candidates have requested me to give little more detailed video on the PPDT as to how to prepare. So today I shall be focusing solely on the PPDT. Now, PPDT, as I said, is the second part of the test which happens on the first day, that is the screening test. So after we have finished the YR, the picture perception and discussion test will be carried out. Now here a black and white picture will be shown to you, which will have some characters, say a few characters. It could be minimum 1 to a maximum of 4 to 5. Normally they avoid having a large number of characters, because as I will tell you subsequently, you have to mention the details of character in the answer sheet. So normally it could be 1, 2, 3 or 4. Now they will give you 30 seconds to observe this photograph. Now after that you will be given 4 minutes to write a story based on the character that you see. Now here some important tips to keep in mind when you write the story is that see the characters in detail. The 30 seconds which you get, don't be in a hurry to start writing. So see the characters, see their age, their gender and their mood, because you have to write this in the answer sheet. Also see the background. At times candidates in a hurry, they go wrong. So see what is the background which is depicting. Is it a rural background or an urban setting? Is it a classroom or a hospital or a railway station or a park? At times people are in a hurry and they give a wrong background. So if you have observed the entire picture in detail, have kept it in the mind, then you will be able to write the correct story. Now, once your time starts to write the story, you will be given 4 minutes. The way to write a good story is that out of the characters which you have seen, you select one of them as the main character. You can call it a hero of the story. So the actions should be around their main characters. He should end up doing something good for the either society in general, or his friends, or his family members, or even himself. You can always say that the character, he did so and so thing and he was successful. So that's how you have to build the story. Ensure that your story is not just a description. This is a weakness which I normally find which is very common. Like for example, if you are shown a story or a picture where you see say 5 candidates or 5 persons are sitting in a group in a park. So if you just write a story that Suresh along with his 5 friends are sitting in a park. Suresh has come back from say Bangalore, where he was studying after a long time, say 2 or 3 years, and is having a good time with his friends. He is recalling his good friendship with people. He had a nice time and they had a memorable evening. Now friends, this is not a good story, because the main character in this case, Suresh, hasn't really ended up doing something good. But if another candidate, he writes with a similar background, that Suresh, he came to the village after 2 years and he met his friends. He saw that in the village the sanitation is very poor, people are having poor health. So he decided to sit with his friends, make out a plan as to how to improve the sanitation. So they made a plan of trying to convince the people in the society, and they acted upon that, and within a few days the sanitation and health and hygiene of the village improved drastically. So here you see that the main character has ended up doing something very positive. So that's how you have to build the story. And of course the other tips are that ensure that you keep a track of the time. You have only 4 minutes. So practice accordingly before you go for the SSB. Try to finish your story in 4 minutes. You must end up with the story. Don't leave it half when the time is over. And as I have said, that the main character, he must end up doing something positive. Try to give a name to the main character. It's always better, so that the assessors, they know that so and so is the main characters. Other figures that you see may or may not be named. Now, once you start writing in the PPDT, there is a requirement of writing the age, gender and the mood of the characters. So, as you can see in the slide, you have to make circle for each of the character that you see, and in each circle you write the 3 things. For the gender, you can write M for male, F for female, and if you are not sure, then you can perhaps write N for neutral. Then accordingly, for age, of course, you make a rough guess of the age and you write that 16 or 24 or 60 or whatever, and then of course you write the mood. That is positive, you can put a plus sign, or negative, when a person is sad or not very happy, you can put negative, and or you can put 0 when you are not sure of the mood. So having finished writing these 3 things of all the characters, then you write the story and you must try to finish in time. So that's how the writing portion of PPDT is to be done. Now the second portion of the PPDT is the individual narration. So here what will happen, then once you have finished writing, you will be grouped into various groups, each group consisting of about 15 to 20 candidates, and you will be made to sit in a semi-circular fashion, from a lower to a higher chest number. So suppose your group is from chest number 21 to 40. So 21, 22 and accordingly up to 40 you will be made to sit, and you will be assessed by 3 assessors. So they will be sitting in front of you. You will have a GTO, a interviewing officer and a psychologist, all 3 sitting in front of you, and all 3 will be individually assessing you regarding your narration and your discussion. Okay. So once your narration starts, then each candidate will be given about 1 minute to narrate his story. So here, ensure that you narrate what you have written. At times, I see that in that break that people get after writing their story, and he gets impressed by some other candidate and he changes the story. Now this is a big mistake. Never do that, because your story, what you have written, will be compared with what you say. So in the individual narration, give your story what you have written. And other tips is that you must speak clearly. You must be able to convey your story in a very clear, concise manner, and you should be able to make a good impression of yourself on the 3 assessors, so that they give you good marking in this individual narration. Okay. So once the individual narration of all the candidates, like in this case I gave an example of 21 to 40, finishes, then automatically the discussion will start. So discussion is the third and the last portion of PPDT. So discussion is equally important, in fact I would say more important, because whereas in the writing of your story and in the individual narration, there is no interference. You are allowed to write the story, you are allowed to talk about your narration, your story in the individual narration without any interference. So it's very easy. Whereas in the discussion, it will not be so easy, because all 15 or 20 whatever candidates are there in the group, everyone is trying to make his impression on the 3 assessors. Everyone is trying to get selected. So it may be quite chaotic at times, especially with the repeated batches. So you have to ensure that you stand out. You get yourself noticed by the 3 assessors. So ensure that you don't keep waiting for the end. You have to somehow give out your viewpoint at least 3 to 4 times. So when you get a chance, speak clearly, loudly, and you should be very clear in your diction, and you should be able to make your point understood to the 3 assessors. Okay. Now at times, you find that everyone is talking and you are not able to say something. So you should learn the art of how you can take a clue from one of your neighboring candidates and go ahead. For example, you can agree with some candidate. You can say candidate number 4, I agree with your point, and then you can give whatever you want to say. It could be a instance that you don't agree with, and the candidate say you don't agree with candidate number 7. So you can say, just number 7, what you have said is fine, but I have a different viewpoint, and then you can give your point. So you can take the lead by agreeing to a candidate, by disagreeing to a candidate. But when you disagree, please ensure that you don't quarrel. You are not very offensive to him. You be very polite. So the assessors are seeing how you are able to interact in a group, how you can discuss in a group, and that's how he will assess your leadership quality, and he will say, okay, this candidate is generally fit enough to be taken to stage 2. And overall, I must say that this will be a little more difficult than the earlier 2 tests. So prepare accordingly, prepare in your own time with a group of friends, see how you can discuss your points, and you can make a good impression on the assessors. Yeah, one more thing I would like to tell you, that whereas, as I said, in the individual narration, your narration has to be exactly what you have written. Whereas in discussion, you can discuss the issues or viewpoints of with others, because the aim in the discussion is to come to a common group story. So you can deviate from your story, you can talk about what someone else is talking, but aim is that you must talk at least 2 to 3 times, or maybe ideally 4 times, so that you get noticed and you get a good enough marks in the discussion. So candidates, I think you have got a fair idea about the PPDT. You will be shown a picture, a black and white picture. You will get 30 seconds to see it. You will get 4 minutes to write the story, write a positive story. Then you will get about a minute or so to narrate your story, give out your narration in a positive, in a bold manner, in a manner which is well understood by the assessors. And then during the discussion, participate 3 to 4 times, and I am very sure you will be able to crack this PPDT very well. At times, candidates ask me, sir, how is the marking done for PPDT? So the 3 assessors who are sitting in front of you, they will see how you have participated, how firstly you have done your narration, and how you have participated. And for each candidate, he will mark you as yes, no, or doubtful. So yes means you are clearly passable candidate, no means you are clearly not passable candidate, and doubtful is the one who perhaps they want to discuss separately. You can be perhaps given a chance. So again, now with your marking of yes, no, and doubtful, your earlier marks of YR also comes handy. They will be compared subsequently once you finish your discussion, and then there is a system according to which you will be either selected and cleared and allowed to go for the main 4 days of SSB, or if you don't make it, then you have to unfortunately go back and come the next time. So candidates, I am very sure you have got a fair idea. आप सब लोगों को एक आइडिया लग गया होगा कि कैसे PPDT की तैयारी करनी है. I will now suggest that if you want to prepare well, download the Trishul Defense Academy app. आप सभी कैंडिडेट्स Trishul Defense Academy की ऐप को आप डाउनलोड करें, और उसमें आपको कई सारे ऑप्शंस मिलेंगे, ऑनलाइन कोर्स के भी, ऑफलाइन कोर्स के भी. सो अपने हिसाब से जो आपको ठीक लगता है उसको आप चूज करें, एंड यू कैन प्रैक्टिस, एंड आई एम वेरी श्योर you can do extremely well. All the best to you. Take care. जय हिंद.
अब डिफेंस एग्जाम क्रैक करना हुआ और भी आसान. त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी लेकर आए हैं बिल्कुल ही एडवांस लर्निंग ऐप. तो आज ही ज्वाइन करें और स्टार्ट करें अपनी ऑनलाइन क्लासेस.